We're speaking with Jason Simard, a Buddhist monk who was given the name Tenzin Gawa when he met with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Jason, you're also a teacher at the Paramita Center of Meditation and Tibetan Buddhist Philosophy in Toronto. Welcome to our Health, Wellness, and You feature. And today I'm really excited to hear a bit more about the Buddhist philosophy and meditation. Can we start there with the idea of Buddhist philosophy? Can you share maybe what it's done for your life?
Yeah, thank you, Matt. So actually, yes, I call that a philosophy. We call that a philosophy because actually, I was raised also in Quebec, in Canada. So, I was more into the, Christian tradition. But, when I was growing, I was asking myself some question and how to be happy. And so slowly I found that, by reading books and looking for things. So, happiness comes, more, the big part of happiness comes from inside of us, not only from external world. So I was looking like this into spirituality and to philosophies like this. So I found that Buddhism gives lots of answers to that. And also Buddha himself, he's a great thinker that says you should not follow my words only because of your faith in my name, but because you check them as you would with gold by cutting, rubbing, and burning it. So it was very appealing to me to know that I can try to follow, a spiritual path, but never be, forced to believe something. I can always ask questions. So for me, it was really relevant. And also in my daily life, it's understanding how our mind function, our emotions function, and how we can grow to happiness, and also how we can help others also to grow to happiness. So that's what I learned in Buddhist philosophy.
I think that's very interesting. Understanding, I think you kind of touched on the idea there of understanding your emotions and almost your biology and how that's influencing the way that you're feeling. Do I get that sense? And I almost feel like that sort of idea is a bit tied into the concept of meditation, observing, kind of understanding the biological reality of what it means to be human. So can you touch a bit on that a bit deeper? Because I find that to be very interesting.
Oh, yes, exactly. So like this, because, His Holiness Dalai Lama, sometimes he said that some of his friends, scientist friends, they told him Buddhism is really interesting. It's like a science of our mind. So actually, what is the meditation? What we call meditation in Buddhist philosophy? The word meditation actually means habituation of your mind to some kind of positive way of thinking and behaving. So actually, our life, our happiness is depending not mainly on the external world, but our reaction and our perception of reality. So Buddhism explains us to understand better reality, our mind, our emotions. So the concept of meditation means you learn how to use your mind in a positive way, like, for example, by first trying to have a peaceful and calm mind. So we use some techniques of meditation for calming the mind, trying to settle the mind, and also some techniques for changing, kind of wrong thinking that creates suffering. Like example, the way we become angry or we become stressed and anxious is based on a wrong perception of reality. So we learn how to change that perception and with philosophical teachings and to think about that. So it's a really interesting and really helpful day-to-day life.
You hear a lot of, beyond the Buddhist philosophy, meditation is this thing that has had a great sort of impact on our culture. Yeah. It's certainly discussed a lot. Is that kind of is that inseparable from Buddha? Is that kind of one of the first things you get into in the study of Buddhism, Buddhist philosophy, is the meditation, or just how important is that to the the fundamentals of the philosophy?
Yeah, now in the world there is general interest for meditation, so it's wonderful, because you can find even on applications to learn to meditate, and you have many different kinds of technique that people now begin to learn about meditation. But for sure, in Buddhist philosophy, meditation is very, very more deep than only that. So with these kind of techniques, we learn to use them in our daily life. So it's, because Buddhist philosophy is a teaching, but it has to be use in our daily life. So actually, meditation means that you learn how to use this technique so they will be beneficial in your daily life. So actually, meditation is not just this concept where you sit and you breathe and you think to nothing. It's much more than that. So actually, meditation, yes, is a tool that, very associated with Buddhist philosophy.
Now, Jason, for our listeners who may have, you've piqued their interest with this, the idea of meditation, is there kind of in your point of view, what's the best way to expose someone to the benefits of meditation? Or is there even a way to truly explore meditation without embracing kind of the totality of Buddhism?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So you can, first maybe you can just grab a book, like about different, techniques of meditation. So if you find interest into Buddhist meditation, you can look for example, great teacher like His Holiness Dalai Lama or others, but you can find also other, like I told you, like some applications. So first would be maybe just to try like this. So after that, if you're really interested, so you can just look for some courses that would be offered, by different kind of meditation centers. So this also should be a great start. You don't need to believe or to follow like a Buddhist path or spiritual path. Meditation is really for everyone.
Now, what are the meditation is for everyone? Can you kind of single out what are some benefits for? There must be a lot of people listening to us right now, hearing this conversation that have some level of dissatisfaction with maybe their just how they feel right now with the stress or things that they're dealing with and the way that they feel mentally. And how exactly does Buddhism and meditation contribute to an improved sense of health, whether you're thinking mental, physical, or emotional, spiritual health?
Oh, yes, that's a good question. Yeah, exactly. Because actually, it's all, we are human beings. So all these aspects of part of our person, and they are all interrelated. So, taking care of the mind will affect the body. Taking care of the body will affect the mind. So, like it looks like in the past years, maybe people took more care about the body, So now there's a kind of a change in perception, attitude, so going more inside. So, just this weekend I had a few workshops with children, and even children, they benefit from these techniques because exactly in this period when we have hard times, also exactly at these times, meditation will be of great importance, great benefit, because we cannot find the happiness that we used to into external things like meeting our friends and having like some meetings and parties and whatever. So because of that, now we need to find more useful and deep tools for happiness. So actually, if we think in a spiritual perspective, negative events can even contribute to our inner happiness if we know how to deal with them.
I have a question for you on the idea of speaking with some other experts on the topic of spirituality this week. Spoke to a man who said that he believes the strength of religion, structured religion like Catholicism, for example, he believes that such the main power of being involved is the structure, is the community experience. Now, right now, there's a lot of isolation orders across Canada, a lot of people not allowed to convene in those spiritual contexts that they're used to. My question is this: is there some sort of does Buddhism embrace more of an individual approach, or is there very much an emphasis on the group aspect, the getting together, the kind of, for lack of a better term, like the sort of, services, the gatherings? Or is it more of an individual endeavor that's almost well suited for these kind of isolated times?
Yes, exactly. Actually, Buddhism thinks the same thing, even in daily life, even if it's not a spiritual matter, but we like to meet with others. It gives us so much positivity and good energy like this. So I think this is most important to meet all together. But in these times, sometimes it's impossible. It's very difficult and impossible. So for our center, we had an opportunity because before we were not doing the online event. So many people that live far away from our center, they could not access the teaching. But because of this situation, now we open the situation to make it online. So now more people have access. So even if it's not the same thing like meeting people, it creates a new opportunity for many people. And also one thing we can think about is that, sometimes we meet with others, but it's not guaranteed that we will feel more connected. Some people, they live close to others. You think about, for example, in the city, people are close to many people, but they feel lonely. And some great meditators, they don't necessarily meet many people, but in their life, they feel interconnected to others. So I think when we can, we should meet, but when we cannot, so there's always a way, a solution also to grow inside, I think.
You've been very generous with your time, Jason. I'll just ask one or two more questions while we have you, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
You mentioned it there, kind of the access, but now offering virtual platforms. I think kind of the in-person, like you said, though, always just a bit more powerful. There's something about that in-person connection. We're here in rural Manitoba. There are probably not very many, would you call it a temple, a Buddhist temple?
Yeah, we call also Buddhist Center. We say Buddhist Center, yeah.
So there's probably not a lot of access for us specifically in this part of Canada. What is your thought in that situation for those who have sparked a genuine curiosity in Buddhist philosophy and these concepts of meditation? What is their best bet? I guess maybe these virtual platforms would be it, right?
Yeah, exactly, because that's a comment we had. So many people in different parts of Canada, in different parts of U.S. and Europe, not living in the great cities, the big cities. So now they find this occasion that they were knowing us or they were looking on our website, but they found this solution now online. So they find it very beneficial and relevant. So maybe that's a good thing to check what is offered online. So it would be a great opportunity to start, yes.
And I know libraries typically will have lots of books as well. Maybe that's, I myself have kind of explored that route for sure.
Exactly. Books also, exactly, yes.
I'd like to hear your definition of the concept of spiritual health and wellness. So I think we've all kind of wrapped our head recently around the concept. Obviously, physical health. I think mental health is something that's kind of come into the zeitgeist more recently. Spiritual health, I think a lot of people have a difficult time defining exactly what that is for them. Could you offer your definition of spirituality and spiritual health?
Okay, it's a good question, yes. Actually, if I think in the Buddhist way, our person is composed of many aspects, but we can all condense into two aspects. This is the body and the mind. So what we call spiritual wellness or mental wellness maybe should be in the Buddhist philosophy kind of closely related. So maybe mental could be something like a more coarse level, and spiritual could be more at a deep level. But what we call like spirituality, actually spiritual, if I'm not wrong, coming from the word like spirit. And, in the Buddhist philosophy, it's the mind experience. So, like during the day, we are having our daily activity. In the dream, there's still some dream experience. So this is all experience of the mind. So actually, I would say like in Buddhist philosophy, we learn to deal with, mainly with mental and spiritual working together to have a really sense of well-being inside.
I see. Is there anything else on the topic of Buddhism and meditation that you'd like to share with our audience? You've given some wonderful insights into a bit of the background. I'm curious if there's anything else on your mind that you would like to share in terms of the value of exploring Buddhist philosophy and meditation as it pertains to, I think a lot of people having a difficult time right now and maybe looking to, somebody made a good point earlier this week. What better time than now with a lot of people with so much free time to rededicate yourself to your spirituality and that aspect of things. So do you have any parting words on that comment?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I think, usually in my life also, I found this truth, it's important to use our life to connect to in our inner world and to be happy and to help others to be happy. So now this time, like, forces in a certain way people to do also something like that if they want to be well, because they cannot find the happiness they used to find in other external situations. So so like this, I think trying to take some time to learn and to get interest into these teachings about spirituality, meditation, Buddhist philosophy, and also trying in our daily life also to kind of put that into practice, like these teachings about mindfulness, to be in the present moment and use these different meditation techniques and take a short time, example, every day when we get up, when we wake up, we can just take a few minutes, example, 5 minutes. We can take short time to sit and just concentrate on the breath and trying to find inner peace and trying to keep this feeling or intention, attitude during the whole day. So because our life experience depends on our inner experience. If the mind is positive, so the day will be positive. If the mind is kind of negative, so the day will be negative. So that's the main thing we should work on.